For over 50 years, a terrifying story has been sold to us. It's a story that changed what we find on our grocery store shelves, what's served in our hospitals, and what we've been taught to fear on our dinner plates. We learned to flinch at the sizzle of a ribeye, to push away the butter, and to look at a golden egg yolk with suspicion. We were told a simple, scary tale. These foods clog your arteries and lead to a heart attack. But what if the very foundation of that story was built on shaky ground? What if we've been fearing the wrong thing all along? The cholesterol myth. What the latest research says about carnivore and heart health. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Carnivore Cure. I'm MS Mirza. If you're ready to have everything you thought you knew about cholesterol and heart health completely rewritten by the latest scientific research, then you are in the absolute right place. Today, we are dismantling the single biggest weapon used against the carnivore diet. So, if you're tired of the fear and ready for the facts, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because this is the most important conversation we can have about your health. To understand the truth, we first have to understand the lie. And it all starts in the 1950s with a man named Ancel Keys and his famous 7-country study. This study was presented as undeniable proof, linking the consumption of saturated fat to heart disease. It was a compelling story, and it was embraced by governments and health organizations almost overnight. But here's the part they never taught you in school. Keys' study was a masterpiece of cherry picking. He had data from 22 countries, but he only showed us the data from the 7 that fit his narrative. When you look at the full picture, the correlation falls apart completely. This was the seed. And from that seed grew the multi-billion-dollar low-fat industry, the rise of processed vegetable oils, and the demonization of the very foods humans have thrived on for millennia. This flawed idea gave birth to a second, even more dangerous myth, the myth of bad cholesterol. We've all heard of LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol. It's been branded into our brains. But what if I told you that calling LDL bad is like calling the firefighters at a fire arsonists just because they're present? The latest research is revealing a shocking truth. The story is far more complex, and we've been looking at the wrong villain all along. The real breakthrough in understanding heart disease isn't about the amount of LDL in your blood. It's about the size and type of those LDL particles. Think of it this way. Are they large, fluffy, buoyant particles like fluffy cotton balls that bounce off your artery walls? Or are they small, dense, hard particles like tiny bits of shrapnel that can easily lodge themselves into those walls and cause inflammation and damage? This is the critical distinction that changes everything. And guess what? Study after study is now confirming that low-carb, high-fat diets like carnivore consistently shift your LDL profile away from the dangerous small, dense particles and toward the harmless, large, fluffy ones. The carnivore diet isn't creating more bad cholesterol. It's fundamentally upgrading the quality of your cholesterol, making it less likely to cause any harm. But the cholesterol myth is only one side of the coin. The real danger, the true driver of heart disease that modern medicine is finally starting to acknowledge, is chronic inflammation. Inflammation is the body's healing response gone rogue. It's like a fire that never goes out, constantly damaging your arterial walls. And what is the single biggest driver of chronic inflammation in the modern diet? It's not saturated fat. It's sugar. It's refined carbohydrates. It's the processed seed oils that are in every packaged food. These substances directly cause the endothelial damage that sets the stage for plaque formation. The carnivore diet, by eliminating all of these inflammatory triggers, is arguably the most powerful anti-inflammatory protocol on the planet. It removes the fuel from the fire. Let's talk about real-world proof, because theory is nothing without results. One of the most powerful markers for heart disease risk is not LDL, it's your triglyceride-to-HDL ratio. This is a marker that most forward-thinking doctors now consider far more important than total cholesterol. You want this ratio to be low. And what does the data show? On a carnivore diet, triglycerides plummet, and HDL, the so-called good cholesterol, skyrockets. This creates a stunningly healthy triglyceride-to-HDL ratio that your cardiologist would applaud. I see your comments every day. So many of you share your before and after blood work, terrified before you get the results, only to be shocked when your doctor says your metabolic panel has never looked better. Your insulin resistance drops. Your blood sugar stabilizes. These are the true markers of metabolic health, and they are all powerfully improved on a carnivore diet. If you've had this experience, share it in the comments below. Let's show people the real-world evidence. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. What about the people who do see their total LDL cholesterol go up on carnivore? This is a phenomenon often called lean mass hyperresponder. For a subset of people, when they become incredibly insulin sensitive and burn fat for fuel with supreme efficiency, their LDL may rise. But crucially, it's almost always the large, fluffy pattern A particles. And it's accompanied by sky-high HDL and rock-bottom triglycerides. This is a fundamentally different and likely benign profile than the dyslipidemia seen in metabolic disease. So, where does this leave us? The outdated fear of dietary cholesterol and saturated fat is crumbling under the weight of new science. The paradigm is shifting from a simplistic cholesterol hypothesis to a nuanced understanding of inflammation, particle size, and metabolic health. The carnivore diet doesn't just fit into this new paradigm, it exemplifies it. It directly targets the root causes of modern chronic disease. It's time to let go of the fear that was manufactured to sell you low-fat cookies and statins. It's time to embrace the empowering truth that whole, nutrient-dense animal foods are the key to unlocking your vitality, not a path to disease. Your health is your greatest asset. Don't let an outdated myth steal it from you. If this conversation opened your eyes, if it made you question what you thought you knew, then do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear this message, and subscribe to Carnivore Cure for more truth-powered content. I'm MS Mirza. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.